2 weeks off, the NBHL Game of the Week is back, and we've got a great game from the Pittsburgh region for you. The Brighton Heights Renegades and the McKeesport Aces, they met in the Pittsburgh playoff final last year, and here they are meeting again. Really exciting times as we get into the meat of the NBHL season. I'm Matthew Aaron. Thank you so much for being with us. I missed you. It's been 2 weeks since we've done this last, but now we're back with a great game, as we said, from Pittsburgh. Both of these teams were on the Game of the Week previously. And for the Renegades, of course, we saw them a couple of weeks ago. They beat the Penn Hills Imperium 10-5, one of the crazier games we've done here. They are 3-0 coming into this game because they had just beaten the Penn Hills Battalion 7-1 earlier in the day. This was the team, Brighton Heights, that last year was first in the regular season, but they lost to the McKeesport Aces in that best-of-3 series, 2-1. They lost 3-2 in Game 3. The Aces are coming in 2-1. They were in the first ever Game of the Week. They lost to the Northside Militia 3-2. So this Aces team trying to get back to the top. The Renegades trying to stay on top and maybe get a little revenge for the playoffs last year. This should be a fun one from Pittsburgh coming right up. You all know you've wanted this tonight on this Thursday, not the NBA Finals Game 1. Game of the Week from the NBHL is next.
Tune in to the McKeesport podcast, your go-to source for weekly league breakdowns, current events, and behind-the-scenes stories from the world of ball hockey and the NBHL. Whether you're a player, a fan, or just discovering the game, we've got you covered. We break down top matchups, highlight standout performances, and dive into everything happening on and off the rink, from highlight reel goals to major league updates and everything in between. New episodes drop regularly, and you can catch every one on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. McKeesport, an NBHL podcast.
We are ready in the Pittsburgh region. First period coming up, Renegades and Aces. Matthew Aaron, thank you so much for being with us and staying patient with us for the 2-week break. Memorial Day last weekend, but this will be a fun one. As we talked about, these are two of the best teams in the Pittsburgh region. These are the two teams that played in the Pittsburgh Tier 1 playoffs. They've both been on the show before. One team won, the other didn't win. But now we've got return trips, and that is extremely exciting. Should be a good game going for you today. Aces in red, the Renegades in blue. This ball will deflect out of play as we get going again. We have the Aces at 2-1. We have the Renegades at 3-0. Got to give them a lot of credit. Playing double headers on the weekend. It's not easy to do that. And so they're going to see if they can go 2 for the day against some very good teams, and also keep that energy up. You expend a lot of energy to win one game, and now you have to go do it all over again. Dave Magliocco, number 72, trying to play that ball along. This is sent all the way down, and we will get another stoppage. It was icing. Talk a lot about the goalies when we do these games. For the Renegades, of course, Pat Bell, national teamer, also the most valuable goalie in 2023. Bryce Scanlon, the goalie for the Aces. So, some young players on both teams, U20 and U23. For the Aces, it's U20, so a little bit younger, and the Renegades U23s, but a lot of talent everywhere you look on this squad. Nick Bruno, number 56, trying to work his way free. In the corner along the kick plate, just wants to backhand it along. And Drew Albright, we've talked about the Albrights before. One of the better defenders, Drew Albright, number 20. His brother Jordan, maybe the best forward in all of ball hockey. Also, they have that innate chemistry. There is Jordan Albright trying to get it towards the net, and Pat Bell had to watch it go away. Might have been deflected on the way in, as the Renegades dump in. Early going of this first period in the Pittsburgh Region Tier 1. Should be, as you said, a very, very good game. And who's going to establish themselves? First place in the division. We're getting towards that time of the year where we can start to talk about these sorts of things. Right now it's the Renegades over the Aces. Their only loss was, of course, as that shot was stopped nicely by Bell. Good chance in front. To finish the thought, Aces' only loss was in that first game we ever did in the NBHL Game of the Week against the Northside Militia. That late loss, they've won their other two since. And the Renegades, we'll see how many goals they have for us today because, as we mentioned off the top of the show, the last game that we're on the game of the week, they scored 10 against Penn Hills Imperium. Maybe they saved some for us. We'll have to see. The games of the week, usually they're pretty close. Last time we had a shootout for you. Late goals, of course, as we mentioned in that first week. But see what this one brings us. It should be another close one. There's no doubt about that. Michael Felsing was 19 trying to get a shot away, but it was blocked. Now the Aces will try to clear. That's Jacob Batista coming in with 3 points on the season, a goal and 2 assists, but he's going to lay it on back as we're 2.5 minutes into the first period of the first period. Aces will try to build out. Sent all the way down. Not going to be icing because it was deflected, so Hunter Fairman will go back to get it. His 4th game of the season has a goal. David Strelka, another defender. Under a lot of pressure there from Marcus King. Doesn't want to leave him be. And this deflects into the Renegades bench. Came out into the slot. There was a good chance for Jacob Batista before it was stopped by Bell. A couple of decent chances thus far for the Aces, who have had more offensive zone time. Trying to get a shot off the face-off King, but he fanned on it. And it was Will Frisco trying to go up the wall. He's got 2 points on the season. Another chance comes in, and another save for Bell. Happens so quickly once you turn it over inside the neutral zone of that floating blue line. That's why chances could come so quickly after a turnover like that. Other chance from a point shot was blocked. It's a little too far there for Connor Joswiak. 3 points in the year, all assists. And Jacob Fetzer, another U23. He's trying to get this ball out of the zone, but the pressure from the Aces keeps this going. It's down low again for Josh Faust. He's got 4 points on the year from the blue line. Trying to keep the pressure on below the goal line. And still, eventually, poked beyond Drew Albright, and now it's the Renegades' turn for some offense. They have not really had a ton of offensive zone time. Here is Fetzer, but he lost it just in front of the benches. Brandon Begano trying to keep it along. 7 points for him this season. Begano, 4 goals, 3 assists. Renegades off the turnover will move the other way. I'm going to play for Matt McGauley, number 44. He's going to work his way into the zone. Now behind the net, it is Begano. Gets it back up to the point. Long shot from Fairman. Loose in front. Still loose there, and they score. That is Begano off the rebound. And it's the Renegades who have the early 1-0 lead about 4.5 into the period. This well set up. It's a point shot. Kind of gets blocked on the way in. I think that pass behind the goalie. It was Begano. Got that set up from Roman Rennebeck. Who's 75, the team captain. He helped set that up. That was his great play by him to get that set up and assist on the year. Begano's 3rd goal. Hunter Fairman also helped set that up, so it is a 1-0 lead for the Renegades. Great work by them. And the pass, I think, behind the goalie in the crease. Poor Bryce Scanlon. He hasn't had to make many saves yet, and then a pass goes in behind him. That was Felsing trying to break his way in, but good stick check broke that up. Renegades trying to extend their lead. That's a nice pass break up there. It was Ricky Anesin who tried to send it along, but good sticks again from the Aces. Trying to send that in. Or Chase Malloy will go pick it up in the corner, trying to break this pressure. We'll go the Renegades 5 minutes in. Here, I think this play, it's going to come back into the other end. I think they got the center line, so that would be icing. And so, well, actually, they're going to call that offside, I think. No, it will be icing. Confusing myself here with the decisions, but it's another face-off in the offensive zone for the Aces. Begano from Rennebeck and Fairman at 4:29 of the first period has the Renegades on top. Certainly showing no ill effects of playing earlier in the day. They won that game 7-1 over the Penn Hills Battalion, as we mentioned earlier. Loose along the wall. That's Jordan Albright, but he turned it over. It's a 2-on-1 the other way for the Renegades. Across Free's feet, a chance for Chase Malloy. It got partially blocked. I think Scanlon got it in the end. Maybe waiting a split second too long before making that cross-crease pass that dumped in on Bell, and he made the save. Trying to get it back out in front. Another stick lift in front of the net. The Aces trying to tie this game up. Lyoko, number 72, trying to set the table, and now aerial flip from the Renegades will get this out of trouble. And Batista comes back to set it up. 3:42 to go in this opening period with the Renegades up 1-0. Nearly turned over. Begano will flip it along. That was Anthony Migliozzi, but looked like he had an angle to shoot, but he couldn't take advantage of the chance. Magali will leave it right here for Fetzer to try to get it in. Begano almost deflected that run towards Scanlon, but don't think it ever reached him. Now, as both teams make changes, the Aces will try to set their breakout. Might have a chance here with Joey Moore, but nice in-tight defending from Fetzer prevented him from getting any space. Cohen Corelli. Well, his second game of the season, number 15, putting good pressure on down at the goal line into the corner. For Batista. Backhand, forehand, looking for some space, and there isn't any. So he's just going to try to wire one towards the net, and it got blocked. It was Magali who will send it ahead. Migliozzi had it sticked away. He'll have to try again in the neutral zone. Look at all the bodies towards the net on that last sequence for the Aces in the offensive zone. This will come back to Strilka. Again, too many bodies in the way. It's going to hit those shin pads. Exit pass didn't work out, and Ethan Helbling, number 25, just tried to blast it towards the net, but I think he got off the heel of his stick. 2:10 to go in the first. Still 1-0 Renegades. Another turnover and a chance. That shot goes wide from Strilka. Had a good look in tight, just missed. Had the time and space. Aces come the other way. It was Faust trying to get it on the backhand into the slot, and then Josviak's shot was blocked. Justin Hancock will back to the Aces. Trying to get in the offensive zone as the period is coming to an end. That's Nathan Zavola. Shoots it in, frozen by Bell. It's been mostly Aces offensive zone time thus far. Had a couple of decent looks. Bell's made the saves. He hasn't been tested all that much as of yet. Aces trying to keep it off the face-off. Malloy will try to push it ahead for the Renegades. Anesin just having trouble entering the zone, and Joswiak will try to reset here. There's a minute 25 to go in the period. There's some room here for fouls. Sharp angle, ended up running that into Bell. Maybe could have taken that shot a little further out. Angle keeps getting tighter and tighter the more you wait. There's a penalty coming up here. There is a penalty coming up, and I think it's on the Aces in the offensive zone. We'll take another look here. It was Faust who got that shot away, close and tight, and then referee's looking right at it in the corner, and yeah, there's the slash from Faust. It's in the offensive zone, and that is the worst place to take a penalty, is in the offensive zone. Comes out of frustration there. And so it is a power play, 90-second power play here for the Renegades. Already up 1-0, and there is a 21-ish second difference between penalty and game clock. And the Renegades go up 2. There's a shot from the point. That got blocked. Aces are going to try to run the other way. It might be a shorthanded break, 2-on-1. Cross-ice feed, and that one goes wide. Opportunity for Bruno on the 2-on-1. Another chance. That one's from Drew Albright that doesn't work. Scampering up the rink, getting a 2-on-1 shorthanded break. But a lot of these good chances, the best chances arguably today, are missing the net. Opportunity for the Aces to get it shorthanded. Opportunity here, and a good save on Rennebeck by Scanlon as he got in behind the defense. Trying to hold that blue line, and it doesn't work out. Gets a player in behind. 17 seconds to go in the period. Migliozzi. He's going to get it back. Clock down to 10. Got to get something off. They try that backdoor cross crease feed. Doesn't work out. Fanned on the shot. 2 seconds, one, and that's going to do it. There'll be a little power play time left for the Renegades, but they've got the 1-0 lead thanks to Begeno. The second period's coming up, but first, the first intermission. First intermission, Renegades leading the Aces 1-0. The game of the week is back. I'm Matthew Aaron. Thank you so much for being with us. Really excited to bring you game of the week once again from Pittsburgh, where we've been a couple of times before. We've seen both of these teams, and right now it's the Renegades trying to get to 4-0, have a 1-0 lead courtesy of Brandon Begeno. And this is ingenuity. It's a nice setup to make the play happen, and then Roman Rennebeck, I think this is, again, behind Bryce Scanlon, right through the crease, either through his legs or behind him, and Begeno gets his third goal of the season. Goalie's like, where's the ball? How did it go through me like that? It might have also gone behind him. And so Begeno has the Renegades ahead, and then, to compound matters for the Aces, Josh Faust, after a good chance that is stopped by Pat Bell, he takes an offensive zone slashing penalty. The worst place to take penalties is in the offensive zone. And so the power play will continue for the Renegades as we head into the second period, trying to build on their lead and get to 4-0, which is coming right up.
From the beginning of time, men and women have been friends, family, but yet rivals as well. Some of the most epic battles have been fought from the North to the South Pole, and anywhere in between. As time flies, battles have transformed themselves into sports. Yet, the fundamentals remain the same, with lighter shields and a different type of sword. But evolution is clever. It introduces new rules but keeps one thing intact: adrenaline. So it's with honor and pride that we present to the world all of the above into one sport. Hockey ball, the game born in the North that can be played from the mountains to the ocean, and from America to Europe, all the way to the land of the rising sun. Napper. Anyone, anywhere.
Second period getting underway. It is 1-0 Renegades. They are still on a power play for 21 more seconds. And most of those seconds are going to get bled away because of that dump in by the Aces. And defending regular season champs in Tier 1, and they obviously won that playoff series. Renegades were the regular season champs last year. You're going to try to get something going here on the remainder of this power play with Felsing. Got it back up to the point. Fetzer tried to shoot in. That didn't lead to anything, and now Justin Hancock will try to clear the zone, sends it on ahead for Jordan Albright, and the Aces get out of trouble after that offensive zone penalty. Now they're going to try to get this game evened up. We'll see what they are able to do. Certainly got plenty of firepower on offense. There's no question about that. You have the Albrights. You have the capability of doing quite a bit. Malloy will get it ahead. This is Felsing. Nice drop pass. Rennebeck's shot was stopped by Scanlon. Another long shot. That got blocked. It was Fetzer. Hit some legs on the way in. Comes to across the rink to Magali, number 44. He'll put that one in. Scanlon almost had that go through his legs. He wasn't set, but he made the save. Once again, Magali, he tried to get that through more legs, but it was blocked away by Jordan Albright. Now it's the Renegades' turn for some offensive zone time. They're setting the table well. It's a fluttering shot that goes over the top of the net and, in fact, goes out of play. It's a nice start for the Renegades, even though they couldn't convert on that power play. So draw will come into the neutral zone. Enjoying watching the growth of these teams over the year, and we saw on our last game of the week the first repeat team that we've had on the game of the week. Now this is the first time we've seen two teams already on this show play each other again. Playing each other, at least they're on the show for a second time. Two teams instead of one. Here's an opportunity for Batista, who scores. He squeezed it right through Bell, and the Aces, 1:48 into the period, have themselves a tying goal. And it's just a little play in the neutral zone. Batista's got a lot of room. He just throws that right through Bell. That's his second goal of the season. Cohen Nacarelli and Dave Magliocco get the assists on the goal for Batista, and now it is a 1-1 game. Didn't take the Aces long to get this game even up. They're looking for another, and that one was loose in the paint. Bell didn't know where it was, didn't go in, and now it's 2-on-1 the other way. Migliozzi tries to get that one through, and it deflects into the bench. Looked like it deflected into the bench, almost did, but it stayed in the rink. Great chances both ways. Ball was loose right between the legs of Pat Bell. He didn't know where it was, but it never went in the net behind him, and then a 2-on-1 the other way. Kind of broke down at the end, but it stays 1-1. Aces and Renegades both nearly made it 2-1 in quick succession, but neither were able to get it into the net. 2.5 into the second period. Nice move from Batista, who just scored, trying to lay that off for Josh Faust, but it was too strong. He's able to track it down along the boards. Goes to the corner, Fairman trying to clear it. Renegades will have to reset now behind their own net, but they will be able to do so 3 minutes in. Strelka looking for an outlet. Isn't one. Turned over just inside the red line. Thrown to the far side, chance in front. Great save by Bell. It was the deflection in the slot there from Marcus King, number 11. Drew Albright passing it along. Another shot, flutters wide. That was King once again. Looking for a chance to slot, turnaround backhand shot, doesn't hit the target. But this is a lot of pressure for the Aces. Another point shot. Bell looking for it. Again, he has to look behind and somehow squeezed it even though he's going backwards on his own pads. He's got it between him. Watch this. That is not a comfortable position to be in if you're a goalie. You're leaning backwards on your pads and hoping you've got it between him. King's had a couple of, Bell's had a level of chances. Some King shots and then just is able to squeeze that. Good thing goalies are flexible. Very flexible in this case, but a lot of pressure for the Aces, and now it's the Renegades' turn. Anesin turns it over. There's a chance, and that's stopped by Scanlon on Malloy. Lively second period. A lot of chances both ways. Fast-paced, good ball hockey. A shot from Faust was blocked on the way in. Felsing turns it up the boards. Kept in by Jordan Albright. Holds that floating blue line. Over to Bruno. Edge of the circle. Drew Albright was in some space there for a second. Found the quiet area of the rink, but didn't take the pass with him. Another chance sent across ice. Jordan Albright. Bell with a stand-up save. Taken here by Malloy. Still loose at the side of the net for a second. Renegades trying to clear this desperately, and Fetzer is able to push it ahead. Now it's Magali. Or it gets turned over the other way again. Bruno. Batista tried to pull the trigger, but wasn't able to do so. Felsing, he tried to enter the zone. He gets a nice little touch pass. Felsing waits, shoots, and he scores. It's Felsing's second goal of the season, and after all that Aces pressure, it's 2-1 Renegades. And just a nice little pass from Malloy, and Felsing, great patience, and he picked the corner out. There on Bryce Scanlon, flicked it by him. And it is now 2-1 in favor of the Renegades. So we saw that in the first period. Aces had a lot of offensive zone time. Weren't able to get one by Pat Bell. And then the other way, you get that Bigeno goal. And now Felsing here from Malloy and Anesin. Anesin's 6th assist of the season. Malloy picks up another one himself. And so it is now 2-1 Brighton Heights Renegades. It's been a very fun game. And just when it seems like one team's got control of the situation, the other team's going to pop up and score a goal themselves. Rennebeck will try to lead the Renegades out of the zone, onto the wing. In again. Scanlon had to be alert to that as a long shot. And Begano, who's already got a goal, trying to get it in the slot. Loose there. Scanlon desperately covers it up. And the funny thing is, I don't think he's had to make all that many saves in this game. Defense has been pretty good in front of him, and then just a couple of nice plays by the Renegades offensively and have given them this 2-1 lead. It's not like Pat Bell, who's had a couple of these chances in the second period where he squeezed his pads and prayed that the ball wasn't behind him, and in both cases it was not. See if we get more Aces zone time here. 4:18 to go in the second period. Really fast-paced, quick-moving period here. More physical contact behind the net. I think that's going to bring about a penalty. That it will.
Joe, shut up, Joe. Shut up.
Penalty, I think, was on the Renegades. It is a penalty on Hunter Fairman. It is a holding penalty. He was holding his man behind the net, so it is going to be a power play now for the Aces. First power play of the game for them. 90-second penalties in ball hockey. This is a minor for holding, and so Fairman in the box. Aces now with a chance to tie this game up. Big opportunity for them. Can they turn all this offensive pressure into something? This is Batista. Behind the net, Ace is trying to set the table. Can afford to be patient. Comes across, that's a great save by Bell. Right there on Bruno. I think he gets this with his foot. You're gonna see it from the other angle. That first chance doesn't connect, and then great patience. You see Bruno jump into the play. And that little pass, and oh, it hit the outside of the net. I thought Bell made that save, but it just hit the outside of the net. It was a good look. He had the short side available to him, but I don't think he got the best contact. Drew Albright, the wing. It's back for Jordan Albright. The brothers trying to help get this Aces team back even. 50 seconds left on the power play. Sharp angle shot, hit a stick in front. Went wide. Batista gets it out in front. Back towards Jordan Albright. They was sticked away, but they can't clear. It was the lefty shot that kind of fooled everyone. Still loose here for the Aces. Jordan Albright, that was blocked. It's on Batista's stick now, but it rolled off the end of his tape. He's got it back, though. Jordan Albright again. Bruno has got to pass it back. Drew Albright hustled, kept it in, though. Goes again. Power play's on the verge of expiring. Really close to expiring in 5 seconds. A lot of passing, but not a lot of shooting. There's a chance at a shot. It gets cleared, and now back the other way. After the power play ends, Scanlon will have to reset, and he gave that away. He did lose a chance in front, and they score! It's Chase Malloy off a giveaway by Scanlon behind the net. He thought he had more time than he actually did. This comes right at the end of the power play. Great defending from the Renegades. Scanlon thinks he's got all sorts of time, and then look at the hustle here from Anesin. He takes his man off the ball, plays it to Malloy, who is all alone, and he just puts that top corner. It was Drew Albright who had his pocket picked. I think he thought he had more time than he actually did. That's Malloy's third of the year. Anison's second assist of the game. Heck of a setup. And a great play to make it 3-1 Renegades. It feels like they haven't been controlling the play in this game at all, and yet, well, they have themselves a 2-goal lead. Renegades looking for a 3-goal lead. Scanlon makes an important save there on Felsing. Kept in, Strilka's shot goes wide. Loose along the boards, a stick went flying. That's Fairman. Don't think they're going to call a penalty on that. It was some hard contact along the boards. It was King tied up with his man. I think the ball ended up going out of play. And to get another face-off. Some physical contact there, and the Aces, how frustrated must they be right now? The way that they have really owned offensive zone time for a good majority of this game. They have a power play, they don't score, and just a miscommunication behind the net between your goalie and your all-world defenseman, Drew Albright. And you get your pocket picked, and now it's a 3-1 game. They're definitely going to want one, the Aces, as soon as they can. But, of course, you definitely want to get one before the end of this period. Keep it at a 1-goal deficit. That's for sure. Got minute 40 to go in the period. 3-1 Renegades right now. Malloy, who just scored, he's trapped in the corner. He's going to come back up high. Aces keep the zone. Drew Albright's shot went through Bell and ended up going wide. Felsing, little pirouette move. Fleet of foot there to not only get through pressure, get into the neutral zone, but then he turned it over. This is Alex Thomas, and a cross-piece pass is hammered home by Jordan Albright. Absolutely smashed this one-timer. All the hard work to do to get it into the neutral zone, and then look at this shot from the line. And that is Jordan Albright to a T. His 5th goal of the year, 9 points. Justin Hancock and Batista helped set that up. Thomas and Magliocco helped set that up. Magliocco's got a couple assists in this game. Thomas helped set that up. That's his first point of the year to go along with 3 goals. Heck of a play to get it to Albright, and they get the goal not too long after giving up the third, a minute 13 between goals. Less than a minute to go in the period. Now this is Magliocco, who's had a very nice game today. A couple of assists, number 72. But chance for the Renegades to go up 2 again, and taking it too tight, and then another shot. That was Migliozzi, and it goes wide. Begeno was looking for his 2nd goal of the game off another little turnover. Renegades don't need much to pounce. Jordan Albright. Oh, he sent that right through the legs of his little man in the attacking zone. Scanlon sent that wide. Begeno was trying to force it through. Period is so close to coming to an end here. Aces will move the other way. That shot is held. Bell down, covers with 8.1 to go in the second. Game this can get a little ragged. Sometimes we're seeing back and forth play. Sometimes we see that back and forth play, but the challenge now is for the Aces is not to give up those grade A scoring chances in which the Renegades have pounced. Off the face-off, it's just pressed to the corner. I was Rennebeck just going to leave it there, and that will do it for period number 2. We've got a lot of goals to go through.
Yeah.
4 of them, in fact. Batista and Albright. But in the middle, 2 goals from Felsing and Malloy. And so, it is 3-2 in favor of the Renegades as we head to the 3rd period. A very fun second period we'll recap in just a second. Second intermission of this great game between the Aces and the Renegades. It's 3-2 Renegades right now as we head to the 3rd period. They're trying to get to 4-0 as we mentioned, and they're looking pretty good value to do that. Matthew Aaron, thank you again for being with us. We've got 4 goals to talk about, so let's get right to it. You have Jacob Batista here early in the 2nd period, tying it up for the Aces. And he's been a good player for the Aces today. It feels like he's on part of every one of the good offensive moments for the McKeesport Aces. They've tied it up, and then, again, it feels like after all that Aces pressure, here's Michael Felsing. Long shot just inside the line. He's able to get that through Scanlon to make it 2-1, his 2nd goal of the season. The last 2 goals, this one is going to be frustrating for the Aces to look back on. You've just had an unsuccessful power play. Your goalie and your all-world defenseman, Drew Albright, have a miscommunication. Anesin jumps onto it, and Malloy is all alone in front of the net, and he throws it by Scanlon to make it 3-1. That is a sucker punch of a goal. They needed to get a quick response, and they did. How about the incredible cross-rink pass to Jordan Albright, who just one-times this home, his 5th goal of the year. That's what Jordan Albright can do, and it's what the Aces needed to get this game back within 1. So the margin didn't change after the 1st period, but a lot of goals, 2 for each team. It's 3-2 Brighton Heights Renegades. We're getting to the 3rd period. We should have a good finish for you coming right up.
Tune in to the Commish Chat podcast, your go-to source for weekly league breakdowns, current events, and behind-the-scenes stories from the world of ball hockey and the NBHL. Whether you're a player, a fan, or just discovering the game, we've got you covered. We break down top matchups, highlight standout performances, and dive into everything happening on and off the rink, from highlight reel goals to major league updates and everything in between. New episodes drop regularly, and you can catch every one on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Commish Chat, an NBHL podcast.
With the Renegades leading the Aces by a 3-2 score. Renegades led 1-0 after one period. They lead 3-2 after two periods. Aces, they've had a lot of the offensive zone time, a majority of it in this game. Now they turn it over here, and it's 2-on-1 really early into this third period, and it just rolled off of Ethan Helbling's stick. And that was a chance to make it 4-2. As we talked about, the Aces are having all that offensive zone time, but it feels like every time the play turns the other way, the Renegades have an opportunity to score. There's odd man opportunities, odd man rushes, fast break opportunities. Spell's going to have to cover up this dump-in attempt. And that's, keeping the Aces on their toes, even though they've had most of the sustained zone time at the very least. Challenge, though, is you have to get one of these to get through Pat Bell, who's played very well once again. A couple of weeks ago, if you remember, in that 10-5 crazy game against Penn Hills Imperium, Pat Bell probably played the best I've ever seen a goalie play who's given up 5 goals in a game. Or at least that I've seen in a long time. Again, one of the best goalies in not just the Pittsburgh region, but all of ball hockey. That shot was blocked, and that took a chunk out of Malloy's. He's limping, but I think he's going to be all right. And you don't get a lot of protection on your shins there if that shot's coming in with some speed at you. But he was able to walk it off. I don't think the Renegades are going to play cautiously here. I don't think that's in their nature necessarily. As Fairman will just rim it around. The challenge is going to be, can you keep playing that counter-attacking style and just let the Aces dominate zone time on you? Not exactly what you want to see. As Fairman will get it on from Malloy, sends it through. Anesin stretched to keep that onside, and he did keep it onside. 2 on Ricky Anesin. Uses some of that space to regroup. The floating blue line gives you a lot more room to make plays. You got a pretty big neutral zone as this deflects out of play. But the floating blue line gives you more chances to keep offense, keep the sequences going before they break down. It's a unique rule to ball hockey, and you can see how it affects the way offense is played. Certainly on the power play, I think you see it more often because you can get a chance to set up further out and you can create more space that way. Games played on ice, again, you're compacted in that offensive zone because of the blue line. Imagine what those games would look like if you had a floating blue line. You have to gain the blue line to enter, but then to exit, you'd have to clear it over the center line. That level of skill, it would be quite crazy to watch that. Bugano breaks into the offensive zone, but then he turned it over. Aces will try to play it up the far wall in front of the benches. They've got a little space here to work. 3-on-2, quick shot, flutters high. That's from Jordan Albright. Last time he had one of those, absolutely blasted it by Pat Bell in a beautiful one-timer that made it 3-2. Aces back in the offensive zone again, and that's Thomas, but he couldn't hold on to it. Down low from Justin Hancock. Didn't make its way through all of those legs. Migliozzi. Now he's just going to have to slap that all the way on Scanlon. He was able to control the rebound. 3 minutes into this third period. Still 3-2 Renegades. Keeping everything in front of them right now. Near side, Jordan Albright. Golly watching him all the way around the net and to the far side. Little handoff. Trying to get it back into the slot. No opportunity for a shot for the Aces. The pass just a little bit too hot to handle there for Thomas. Now a long look from Drew Albright, loose in front, Bell stretching. Where's the ball? It's underneath him again. He has sacrificed his body in some positions to keep the ball out today. They're working the offensive zone this way. Batista gets back up high for a long shot you're going to see right here from the neutral zone. We were talking about that floating blue line. Just loads up, deflects over the top of the net, and he's just sprawling. And oh man, that was Cohen Acrelli. How about that play? Right out in front, has a look with the goalie down, but Acrelli just couldn't elevate it. Here's Anesin scampering ahead. Drew Albright to the corner, watch him. 6:15 to go in this third period. Plenty of time still for the Aces. Loose along the boards. There's an opportunity for the Renegades trying to spin it into the slot. That doesn't work out. Good look there. Maybe make it 4-2. Just a little push there on Felsing, and he goes down again. I think they're going to call a penalty. They are. Josh Faust, who's going to get it's going to be Joey Moore here. Watch this, number 16. You're going to get one hack, and then Felsing goes down. You're only going to get one crack at those, and now he goes into the penalty box. Joey Moore, U20 national team, and so that penalty will put the Renegades on the power play. An opportunity to get to 4-2 and to get some distance in themselves. They are 0 for 1 on the power play today. I should say he was joining Josh Faust in taking penalties today. Minute 10 to go on that power play. Renegades set the table behind the net, trying to get that one look. This is Felsing. It's broken up 2-on-1 the other way. Here come the Aces. It's Batista. That's a great breakup from Felsing, who came all the way back to break up that possible 2-on-1. You need to notice today that all of these 2-on-1s, it's a lot of passing, not a lot of shooting. Then towards the net, there's an opportunity for Malloy on the back end, high in the slot. Gloving it is Migliozzi. And Malloy will try again. 38 seconds left on this power play. That far circle, and it's deflected off of Drew Albright into the bench. And you see 29 seconds to go on this power play. Oh for 1 on the power play today. If they can get this power play goal, 2 goals and a little less than half the period to go, is going to be, I think, hard to come back from. Migliozzi with patience here. That was Felsing trying to send it through all that traffic. It ends up going wide. It's back with Migliozzi again. This way, Anesin. Migliozzi wanted the one-timer. He couldn't take it. Trying to get that through. That shot was blocked. Aces have it dealt with, and that's the end of the power play. And now, down low, there's a penalty coming up on Migliozzi. That's going to be a trip. It's seconds after the power play expires. How vulnerable are you in those situations? And yeah, I think Jordan Albright is losing his balance, but Migliozzi definitely gets a chunk out of him, and that's a penalty. It is a second penalty on the Renegades, and now a power play for the Aces. They've got a chance to tie this game up. They'll be looking for that killer moment. There's a chance, and it's loose there. Jamming away, they score. It's Drew Albright. Well, the first chance was sort of fanned on. Aces with a power play goal have made it 3-3. Bell is out of commission because this shot from Batista, he fans on it. His stick actually fails. It deflects in the air, and look at where Albright is. Johnny on the spot to put that away. How about Batista getting an assist in this game with a broken stick? He gets an assist because his stick fails him. That's the best time for your stick to fail if the shot goes. That's the first time in our game of the week, I think. I'm going to actually have to go back and ask our crew about that. Is that the first time we've seen a broken stick in any of our games, and it ends up leading to a goal? But who would have guessed? A power play goal. Huge one for Albright, a second of the year. Hancock and Batista are going to get assists on this goal, and it is now a 3-3 game with 3.5 to go. Aces not led at any point. They're looking to change that. This is Thomas looking short side, and it's held by Bell. Again, you kind of feel bad there for Pat Bell, because what are you supposed to do in a situation where you're not anticipating the flight of that ball because the shot comes in after a stick failure and it just dies in front of you, and you've got one of the best players in all of ball hockey just sitting there waiting to pounce. An unfortunate break to make it 3-3, but sometimes you got to get lucky, and hey, the Aces get lucky there. As that shot comes in there from Zavola, it goes wide. Aces will certainly take it. They sure needed it in a 3-3 game. This has been every bit as advertised. And Pittsburgh Tier 1, we have seen some great ball hockey today. Aces will try to reset here. Clear in the neutral zone. Trying to break it in over the line. Oh, that there got contacted up high. That was Fairman. They're going to call a penalty on that. Again, it's another offensive zone penalty as Hunter Fairman just took one in the chops. The referees are going to have a chat. That's going to be a penalty. Couldn't see who initially took it. I think it was Colin Nacarelli who ends up getting Fairman up high. It's inadvertent. It's not malicious by any stretch. Yeah, he's in the box, and it is a third power play of the game for the Renegades, and another opportunity for them to take the lead. They are 0 for 2 on the power play, and they've got 2:53 left in this period to try to take the lead again. That's the second time the Aces have taken a penalty today in the offensive zone. It's also probably the most penalty-filled game we've had in our games of the week thus far. Just some inadvertent bad luck stuff, but either way, it's penalty. It was elbowing, and now that shot is going to deflect up and out of play. There's Felsing again from that left circle. 11 seconds into the power play. Back to the neutral zone we go. Worth reminding everyone that it is a 3-2-1-0 point structure in case this game goes to overtime in the NBHL. These teams at this point have played entirely games in regulation. So 9 points for the Renegades and 6 points for the Aces. Long shot for Migliozzi. Almost made its way through, but went wide. A minute to go on the power play. Migliozzi, they're playing catch. Him and Felsing, it's mesmerizing, but it's just kept to the outside, and any fans on the shot. I think he got a little bit caught in two minds there. He wants to pass, wants to shoot, and couldn't make the determination on what he wanted to do at all. And just ends up rolling off his tape harmlessly. Migliozzi's going to have to go chase this back. Going to have to try to enter the zone again. That's Begeno. Nothing doing there. Aces are now just going to try to rag the ball. Does rag the ball work the same as a rag the puck? I don't know, but we'll have to get a check on that. Either way, Drew Albright will try to kill some of the remaining time of this penalty, and just playing keep away. Magliocco. Dumped in there by Batista. Penalty's over. And so Renegades 0 for 3 on the power play today. They've had their looks. They have not been able to take advantage, that's for sure. And now, still 3-3. Specialty teams battle won by the Aces. Batista frozen by Bell from a sharp angle. Any shot at this point could be a game-winning shot. We're not yet in overtime officially. We're practically in overtime. Next goal wins territory here for sure. And an offensive zone draw for the Aces. Again, in spite of giving up the chances they've given up, the looks they've given up, they've been able to take advantage of a little bit of luck on this third period power play that they had. The goal from Drew Albright to get this game even. Now, Jordan Albright, both Albright brothers have scored today, and he can afford to be patient as time begins to run short here on this third period. Ace is trying to look for that one great chance. As Thomas trying to backhand it Right back into the high slot, but Bell had that closed off. It's loose in there. Still trying to find some room there. It is Felsing. Now trying to clear it the other way. You have 30 seconds to go in the period. That is hammered on net by Malloy and frozen by Scanlon. That's the best save he's made today. That had some heat on it. There's some traffic in front. He's got to be careful squeezing that thing, but he did. 27 seconds to go in the period. Another offensive zone draw. Migliozzi to take it. Renegades have it. Spin it down the wall, Malloy. Gonna get it back to him. Oh, that was a great feed there from Anesin, and Malloy just couldn't make a stick. Anesin there, that was blocked, needed by Jordan Albright. Was standing in front, got his legs in the way. Thomas, back up for Drew Albright. Another opportunity, that doesn't quite go. Horn's about to sound here, and there it goes. The third period has come to an end. Drew Albright's power play goal even this game up at 3-3, so each team's going to get a point. Bonus points coming up for one team in overtime, which is coming up in just a second.
From the beginning of time, men and women have been friends, family, but yet rivals as well. Some of the most epic battles have been fought from the North to the South Pole and anywhere in between. As time flies, battles have transformed themselves into sports. Yet, the fundamentals remain the same, with lighter shields and a different type of sword. But evolution is clever. It introduces new rules but keeps one thing intact: adrenaline. So it's with honor and pride that we present to the world all of the above into one sport. Hockey ball, the game born in the North that can be played from the mountains to the ocean, and from America to Europe, all the way to the land of the rising sun. Napper. Anyone, anywhere.
Here we go. Overtime, everybody. Who's getting that second point? Renegades have led this game 1-0. They've led this game 3-1. And a 2-goal deficit. Great comeback from the Aces. So who's going to get second point? Remember, 3-on-3 for 3 minutes. Rule of 3 is what you need to keep in mind for overtime in the NBHL. Here we go. Starts with possession here for Magali. He's looking to set the table, trying to squeeze that through to Felsing, but it was blocked away, and now it's the Aces' turn. Exchanges of possession, but they turn it over. Nothing they could do there, as Nick Bruno couldn't control it. There's a quick shot, and it's Skin! It was such a quick shot, it fooled Scanlon. Felsing from a tough angle here. His second goal of the game, and it's the game winner. Magali, all he's going to do is just turn this ahead, using the boards to his advantage. A left circle shot. Oh, and that got him short side. Scanlon fooled by the shot. It's Felsing's third of the year and second of the game. That is your overtime winner. It didn't take very long. It's the Renegades who get the second point, 4-3. We're going to wrap this up for you in just a second. It's the Renegades who get a 4-3 win. They get their fourth win of the season. They're up to 11 points with a 4-3 overtime win over the Aces. What a fun game in the game of the week. Second straight time, one of our games of the week has gone to overtime. Last one went to a shootout. This one is a very quick overtime winner, and it comes from Michael Felsing. But before that, Drew Albright on the power play gave the Aces a game-tying goal. And yeah, it's Jacob Batista's stick failing in the best possible way. We did check. That was the first broken stick on the game of the week, and it turns into a goal. Drew Albright, second of the year. The game goes to overtime. Nothing fancy about it. It's just Magali, a little indirect off the boards, and Felsing just blasts this short side by Scanlon. Maybe a little late to recognize the danger there, but either way, Felsing's third of the year and second of the game gives the Renegades a 4-3 win. They have 11 points, 7 for the Aces, so they're still in this, but right now, Renegades looking to win a regular season title. This is a big step towards that. Thank you for being with us. We're back next week for another Game of the Week. I'm Matthew Aaron. Have a great rest of your day.